Darlene here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to SHEDWARS. We are a gardening community teaching the world how to garden. So I hope you enjoy today's video. Are you ready? Let's go. A very critical part of gardening is harvesting. Today's video is going to be about harvesting. In the last few days, I've harvested several things. I've harvested raspberries. In fact, it was my second picking. And we don't have a lot of raspberry bushes. And they tend to make really small raspberries. I suspect that's because I haven't fertilized the raspberries ever. And they didn't get picked the week we were gone. I picked one picking before we left, and then once again after we got back. But some of them had shriveled up due to the heat, which hasn't been horrible. We've been from low 80s to mid 90s in the daytime. There was one night it got down to 53, which it was one of the days it was in the 90s. Anyway, I also harvested some lettuce, a lot of lettuce, and I will show you my lettuce patch. The lettuce I harvested has gone into the tummy. I did weigh it. I will show you a little bit of my garlic harvest. How to tell when garlic is ripe or ready. It's when the leaves start turning brown. I've harvested some potatoes, and I have more that I believe are ready to harvest. I am waiting until that part of the garden has shade because I am not real fond of going out in the heat. It is mid-80s today so far. But when you're right in the direct sun, that 80 feels like 180. I have harvested some brassicas that have gone to seed, and I'm waiting for the rest of them to get a little browner, or tan, I guess is a better word for it, before I harvest them. They're nearly ready. Oh, and the garlic. Well, I'll tell you when I'm showing it to you. So let me show you my garlic and my lettuce and some of the brassicas that I harvested for seed. Oh, and I've been harvesting chamomile flowers and a whole bunch of lemon balm and mint. And I picked almost all of my, I think I saw one flower that I missed, my lavender. And it should flush out and bloom some more before the summer's over, I'm hoping. So these are the things that I've harvested. So it's important as gardeners to do a little bit of research and just know when each thing that you're wanting to harvest is ready to be harvested. I don't have tomatoes yet. I have some blooms. Hopefully that makes tomatoes. Hopefully it's a bit warm. And I know they prefer it in the 70s and 80s. We'll see what happens. Everything here is a little bit later than a lot of people. I've seen other gardeners have tons of stuff that they've harvested. But we got a late start because of our cold, rainy month of June. So things here are a wee bit behind. Harvesting is the reward for the gardening. So let's go ahead and see some of the things I harvested today. bit of advice that I didn't follow myself. When you go to dig up garlic, the ground should be dry instead of wet. My ground is quite compact, so as you can see, I was struggling here to get my garlic dug. Finally was successful. And I did leave a few of the garlics out there that didn't look like they were quite ready. The stems were still green on a few of them, but I harvested the majority of the garlic patch. So here you see me digging, and I'm using a trowel. It's better to use a trowel that you can dig around so you don't actually damage any of the garlic. Although I noticed when I harvested, I did nip off a little bit on a couple of them, and theoretically don't pull on them like that, but I just had no other way of getting them out because my ground is so compact. It was fluffy last October when I planted them, but over time it's gotten compact. But I have garlic, so that is good. I think I harvested about the same amount of garlic as last year, maybe not quite as much, but the garlic cloves are a bit bigger than they were last year. And as you'll see in a little bit, I had one that was really pretty good sized. No vampires here. Okay, I have my garlic all laid out on my table on my porch to cure. They need to lay here for a couple of weeks, and then I will wipe the dirt off and maybe out any papery on the outside and cut off the roots. I had a couple of onion flowers that went to seed there that I plucked probably before the seeds are going to be viable, but I left them there to see what happens. Anyway, over here you see some of the brassicas that I let it go to seed, and they're drying out. And I have a bunch more in the garden that are still fairly green, so I will pick those when they get brown enough, or tan enough, I should say. Here's the lettuce that I've been harvesting on, and it really is quite good. I mixed some onion with some salad. Speaking of onion, there are some, I believe they're Walla Wallas, mixed in with the lettuce there. Over here, I picked some lemon balm and some lavender. You can't really tell that because I picked it. It's all cut back and it's behind the echinacea plant. It's there. I have parsley in bloom, waiting for that to get dry enough to harvest the seeds. So my Shed Warriors, and everybody watching Shed Warriors, harvesting. An important, critical part of gardening is harvesting. Well, especially if you've grown vegetables and greens. Even if you've just grown flowers, many of them can be picked and put into bouquets or deadheaded to get rid of the spent blooms, which is a form of harvesting. So do your research. Like I said earlier, know when to harvest the things you've planted. And I hope I've shown you a little bit today about harvesting. You harvest the garlic when the leaves start to turn yellow. Same with onions. Actually, same with potatoes. The tops start dying off. You harvest the seeds from things that you've let go to seed when the seed pods start getting dry enough that you know the seeds are mature. You harvest the raspberries when they turn the color they're supposed to be. Mine are red. Our blackberries are just now starting to bloom, and like I said earlier, our tomatoes are just now starting to bloom. And hopefully my peppers bloom. I have good luck raising pepper plants, but not good luck at my pepper plants ever having peppers. So we'll see what happens this year. I will give them some fertilizer, the P and the K in the fertilizer, which is supposed to help with fruiting. And I need to go give my corn some fertilizer because it likes to be fertilized. Well, Shed Warriors and people around the world watching us, may the good Lord be with you. May your harvests be bountiful, and may you always seek the truth. This is Darlene from Darlene's Garden saying bye for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that little bell thing so you know when I put out a video. This is my first video for the month of July. I will have one more Shed War video before the month is over. And I will have a number of non-Shed War videos. And I like to do shorts too, just so people watching me know I'm still kicking. Until next time. Bye.